Thank you, Jack. The idea for today's discussion started when we lost the Wilmington Hammerhead soccer team last year, and it grew to include college sports when UNCW was searching for its new basketball coach. I personally considered the loss of the Hammerheads one of the biggest cultural losses to our community in a long time, and the search for the new basketball coach raised a lot of questions about what it takes to run a financially successful sports program here. The central question we're going to look at today is how can Wilmington have successful minor league and college sports programs, and we're talking about success in business terms, not just in wins and losses. We have a lot of different perspectives represented with our panel this morning, with people who've been involved in a range of different sports at universities and minor league teams. The one thing they all have in common is that all of them have been charged at one point with running not just a team, but a sports business. Starting closest to me, our panelists are Bill Dooley, a former football coach and athletic director who worked at UNC, Virginia Tech, and Wake Forest. Next is Jim Goodman, president and CEO of the Durham Bulls and Capital Broadcasting Company. Next is Pete Gritali, the managing partner of Wilmington Sea Dogs and CEO of Seagate Management. Next is Kelly Mertens, athletic director at UNCW. And then Bill Mertens is the former owner of the Hammerheads and a managing partner in 5 hotels. And in fairness to Bill, we'll point out him and his group sold the Hammerheads a couple years before they lost, so he can speak about what happened during his time when they were really probably say the most successful sports franchise in Wilmington. Not sure he wasn't involved when they left. So first question, I'm going to start off with Bill, and then we'll come back down the line towards me. What would you say are the advantages and disadvantages of running a sports business in Wilmington?
One of the biggest advantages is that Wilmington's such a great sports town. It's very active, very fit. There are marathons, triathlons, festivals, soccer tournaments, softball tournaments. There's always something going on. So we always felt that if we put on a good show, the people would attend, and we averaged probably 2,000, close to 3,000 one year. So another advantage is there's a very active adult and youth soccer program, over 4,000 participants, and if you go around the county any time during a weekend, you'll see all the fields taken. The city and the county gave us tremendous support. Legion Stadium, as many of you have attended games over there, is, according to my coach Irvin, is as good as there is anywhere in the country. So, and then the county, if we needed field space for practice or whatever, we were afforded that. The media was tremendous. After UNCW, after Mark Scout's team finished their season, we were really the only game in town, and just got tremendous support from WECT, WAY, the Star News Radio, and you just can't put a number on that. We were very limited by our monies, so we had to get what we could. I remember 2 specific instances. Kevin Hull, who you may remember, after we lost a tough game at the end of the year, he was practically crying because the season was over. And then the other example was when David Irvin was thinking about going to Portland. I signed him finally after about, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks of negotiating, and Bob Bonner called and thanked me for that. So we really had a good impact on the media too. And then finally, I would say just local ownership. I think we all like to know that the money we spend in Wilmington stays in Wilmington. So we always felt like that was very important. Challenges, of course, financial was the biggest thing, cash flow. After the season ended in August, mid-August, late August, we really didn't have any money. I mean, we were paying bills from the season before. They kept coming in, and the owners, there were 4 of us, and we all did a sponsorship, so we would put our money in, and then there were a few others that we could count on, but selling sponsorships was just the key to our business. If we did well, and I'll get into specifics later about the levels that we always tried to do, then that really determined our season. Even though the players didn't come in until March 15th through August 15th, we had to generate money because we had 3 full-time staff. The The other thing is the other challenge is the viability of the United Soccer League. It's a 25-year soccer league, you know, stable but unstable. We had my first year in, I think there were 18 teams in Division I and 12 teams in Division II, which was our league. And last year there were 6 teams in Division II and there were 12 teams in Division I. So I think out of the 37, count MLS in Division I, Division II, there are 37 teams, and 4 or 5 or 6 made money. So that was always, you know, it was just tough to keep teams in the league. The finding the right players was important to us. Of course, David was charged with the talent level, but we wanted the best players, but we also wanted players that were professional and carried the mission that the owners in Wilmington wanted. So that was always, there are a lot of players out there, but just finding the right ones. I know we've had some players that have gone on and done, we'll have them for 1 year, and then after 1 year they go somewhere else and do extremely well. And David just didn't want them. I mean, they just didn't represent what we wanted. So, and then of course, just some smaller things. The weather at games was always a challenge. Weatherman about 4:30 or 5 o'clock would, you know, storm coming in. So it could be a problem. And then workers' comp was always something we always, you know, just the risk just kept going up with injuries. It wouldn't really hit you this year, but then it just kept going up. And then one other thing was the number of games. I know I was talking to Jim Goodman this morning. He has 72 home games. We have 10 to 12 guaranteed games. Hopefully it'd be more than that. But so we could only charge so much for our sponsorship packages. We always tried to be economical. So that's sort of my take.
Kelly?
Well, I think, again, saying some of the same things that Bill said, advantages, this is a great sports town. I think that from a UNCW standpoint, we have a lot of people that are passionate about the Seahawks, and that's an advantage for us. Also, I think the fact that our institution and the notoriety that it receives from an academic standpoint with our faculty, student athletes want to be in Wilmington and want to be associated with our institution. The Wilmington community has supported UNCW athletics for a number of years, and I think that one of the things that we have to do is just do a better job of letting people know about a lot of the good things that are going on in our athletics department. But from an advantages standpoint, I think that we offer great sports entertainment, and the biggest part of it is we're making a tremendous impact on the lives of so many young people. And that's one of the things that really drives us to continue the impact on the student athletes, because many of our student athletes, even though they come from other places, they end up staying after they graduate in Wilmington. And I think that that's important when we can create that type of an environment that our student athletes want to stay in this great city. From a challenges standpoint, it's winning at a college level is very, very important. So athletic success is very key. I mean, academic success is obviously up on the charts as far as the metrics go, but athletic success from wins and losses and competing in postseason, that's important when you think about college athletics, because people want to be associated with winners, and that passion that drives people to support college athletics, whether it's here or anywhere else. And the great thing about Wilmington is that there's so many people here that are graduates of other institutions that have adopted the Seahawks, and that's important for us to thrive in this market.
Great.